Okay, g'day guys. We're in Eric's room today, and I'm just showing you what he's getting from Santa for Christmas, and it's actually his first surfboard. Now, I suggest getting kids involved with surfing and swimming as early as you possibly can. Now, Eric's 2, and you may think, oh, this is far too big for him. And this is a 7-foot Easy Rider soft board from Ocean and Earth. And why I recommend the bigger the better. When you're learning how to surf, the bigger the board, the better it is for you. You want it as wide as you possibly can, so it has more side-to-side stability. And you want it as long as you possibly can, so it's got more stability that way. The thicker it is, the more volume you have in the board, the easier it's going to be when you're paddling, because what a lot of people don't realise is just how much paddling is involved. Each wave you're sort of getting, you're paddling at least 100 metres, I'd say, somewhere thereabouts, 50 to 100 metres. So it's important that you have a board that's easy to manage. And initially, what I suggest people is just get out the back. And just don't worry about catching waves for a while. Just paddle around. Get comfortable sitting on the board. Going over waves. Keep out of the way of sort of breaking waves. Now, initially, when you're getting your board set up, you're going to need a leg rope. You put the fins in, obviously. And what a lot of people forget to do is wax the rails. Now, a lot of the time, if you're out in the ocean or you're holding on, this is the main section in which you're grabbing the board, okay? Especially when you're sort of standing up too, you're sort of grabbing the board, via the rail. So it's very important is the wax isn't just only for your chest and feet, it's also for your hands. So make sure you've got plenty of wax on the top side of the rail. Now, obviously standing up is important, but most importantly is having confidence in the water. So you want to make sure you get down to your local swimming pool and you've got about 3 months worth of swimming confidence up your sleeve, because what can happen is a wave comes, tosses you around a few times, you could be winded, whatever the case may be, you pop up for air, you're cramped up, you just can't move. It certainly can become a very stressful situation pretty quickly, and a lot of people panic. So getting as much confidence as you can in the water is a very good thing. So maybe start body surfing and initially. And just on that, for when you are body surfing, it's important. What I do is, if you've ever seen a plank of wood or a surfboard without a rider just get washed in by the waves, it's very good learning lesson. You want to go as stiff as the board. So what I do is just go as stiff as I possibly can, okay? And then as you're getting momentum on the wave, like if you can angle, to go across the wave like that. But initially what people do is just sort of go down, they'll paddle, I'll put one up, palm down, and then just paddle, and then they'll bring themselves out of the water once they're on the wave. Or you can use two. But the trick is, and not a lot of people can do this, is take the wave all the way into the shore. And the trick for doing that is you sort of arc your back a bit. So you want to have a bit of an arc to you, but you want to be as stiff as you possibly can. And then if you feel like you're just getting behind, you can take a bit of a stroke as well. Okay, brings me to the first point of surfing. Okay, if you're introducing kids to surfing, you want to make it as fun as you possibly can. Okay, and it has to start in the living room or in the bedroom, where there's plenty of cushions and things like that. So you want to make it a fun experience, because it's very easy to put kids off surfing if you rush it. And you can take the kids down to the beach and they can be scarred for 6 months by a little wipeout. So I suggest to anyone, whether it's kids or adults learning how to surf, once you get that surfboard, don't put the fins in straight away. get used to practicing standing up in your room. Now, a lot of the times what happens when people are starting to surf, they get it wrong where they're actually paddling. So they'll either be too far forward and they're sinking the nose, and when they're paddling, they're not flowing through the water nicely. The other thing that they do is they're sitting too far back and the nose of the board's coming up and they're pushing against the water, so they're not gliding through. So you want to try and strike a good balance, and a way of doing that is reaching up towards the nose and then just pushing the full arm extension back. Okay, now you should be able to sort of go onto your elbows and the board's relatively flat, okay, because you can imagine that once you are about to stand up, you're putting all that weight right there, so you don't want that weight to be pushing the nose down, okay, so you'll nose dive, and you also don't want it to be pushing the nose up, because you won't be able to get onto that wave. Now, when you are paddling, keeping that head up it takes a little bit of time to develop those muscles. So a lot of times you'll see new surfers, and even for experienced surfers, if they haven't been surfing for a while, their head's down very low and their shoulders are fairly close to the board. So over time you'll get that right. So you want to get back to standing up and practicing standing up in your living room, okay? But before we do that, there's one little trick that I'll show you. Now, if you want to learn how to get under a wave with a surfboard, I suggest duck diving. But for beginners, the best thing for them to do is when they're on the board, okay, they're about there, and a wave's coming towards you, the best thing to do is to roll over, and that's why it's important to put plenty of wax on those rails. And then hold the nose of the board and let the wave pass over you, okay? Sometimes it won't happen, and the wave will take you with it. But if you hold on to that board for your dear life, lo and behold, you'll pop up, and then you just turn back over and get back on that board again. So that's the easiest way for getting through the waves initially. Okay, but ideally you want it to be very small when you're starting. Now, brings me to sort of standing up. So we've sort of reached towards a board. We've pushed ourselves back. We feel nice and balanced. Now, when you're actually surfing, it's probably a good idea just to catch the broken waves. And what I mean by that is just catching the whitewash, okay? So the white part of the wave. So the wave's already broken, and then you just keep on practicing, on that whitewash. So you don't have to worry about going across the wave. Now to do that, you just sort of paddle, 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 and then once you feel that you have caught the wave, take 3 more paddles, because I can't stress the importance of having speed. Now, what I'll also suggest then, too many people will want to jump up straight away. I suggest just pushing yourself up with your arms like this, and then just get a feel for whether I need to go more forward, so you pull yourself forward, or you push yourself back, the nose is going under, and then just practice, pushing each rail down and feeling the direction change from the board. And just keep on doing that until you're comfortable with doing that. Once you're comfortable doing that, the next step is you push yourself up, but push yourself onto your knees, and then you can bring your knees further forward, and then just practice just going on your knees each time. And then what you're going to do is that will focus you on controlling the direction of the board with the weight in your hands by pushing on either rail. Now, why I suggest going onto your knees, because to get onto your feet, it's a very easy transition, because all you really need to do is you just lift. You don't have to lift it, I guess. But what I'd do is you just go, and the trick to surfing is everyone when they start and they want to stand up for the first time, they want to stand up loud and proud. You know, yay, look at me, I'm surfing. But if you look at all surfers that are very good, they're keeping their, you know, body weight very low. It's also how they generate a lot of speed by crouch and extension. So if we just show you that again, is just in summary, we paddle along. Once we feel the momentum of the wave, take 3 or 4 more strokes. You go to your knees, okay? Then, once you've felt that ideal amount of momentum from the wave, and you feel that you're in the right position on the board, and you can adjust yourself by just moving up and down the board with your knees, okay? Once you feel you're in that right position, swing that front foot forward. Now, it's very important that you're not looking down, okay? When you're surfing, you always want to be having your head up. So, an example of that would be, if we could imagine we're going to have what's called a right-hander. So it means that as I'm surfing, I'm going to go in the direction of my right hand. So I paddle, paddle, paddle. I look to the left-hand side to make sure that no one on the inside of me is coming, because they have right of way. Okay, and then I'm looking in the direction that I want to go. But you'll see my board isn't going that direction. So if you actually, when you're paddling for the wave, you want to be on a slight angle, okay? So you're paddling, 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 you check if anyone's there, you look to where you want to go. I always have this hand a little bit further back, okay? And then you can just look to where you want to go. Never look down, because if you look down, you'll tumble. Just get that balance point, and then bang, and you're going, okay? And then going from this position, okay, when you're on your knees, okay, and things are getting a bit wobbly, you can always sort of grab on again, or you can go back to your knees, right? But to go from this position to standing up is very easy, but it's very important that you stay low. So, in summary, you know, that's all it really is. And if we do it the other way, we'd go left. So if we were going, the waves were heading that way, we'd have paddle on a slight angle. We'd check towards the inside. Is there anyone there? No, it's fine. To our knees, to get that position where it's, and you can even ride the whole wave in like this if you want, right? But keep that weight balanced, look to where you want to go, and up you get. And then to get to the standing position. But you always want to stay low. Alright, Eric, Aubrey, that video is for you. I hope you enjoyed this board. And yeah, and when you're introducing kids to surfing, we're not going to be going to the beach straight away. So what we'll do is we'll get the kids comfortable riding this surfboard in a swimming pool. Okay, so we'll take it down to the local swimming pool, we'll wax it up, and then we'll just teach them the steps, because what's important with kids in water is their confidence. Now, if they're confident, you want to have them absolutely begging you to go to the beach and, you know, go into the waves for real. So, you know, even if you have to take them for a month of Sundays down to your local swimming pool and get them confident, show them the techniques, and then what you can do, once they're up, you just push it, and then you just push it in the smooth swimming pool, and they can really enjoy standing up on the surfboard. So that's why having the largest, most stable board possible is a good idea. Once you actually get them in the water surfing, I would suggest, this is what I do. You have them on the surfboard, so you get on there, they're underneath you. You just paddle it for them. They're on the front here. Okay, once you catch the wave, you push yourself off the back. Okay, like this. And then you just body surf behind it. But what you can do is you can change the direction. Okay, but what you're actually doing is maintaining stability of the board. So you're providing a stable platform and giving them all the time in the world to stand up confidently, and they're just building and growing confidence, you know, thinking that it's all them, and you know, that's when they become more competent, better swimmers, better paddlers, stronger in the water. There's a good board game that you can buy from Dimmick's bookshops about introducing kids to surfing. Not sure what it's called, but yeah, that's the best way to get kids into surfing is, you know, not to scar them and not to push them too hard. And you know, I know from, you know, I've made all the mistakes, and so you don't have to. Thanks, guys. And I'll just quickly show. This is Eric's room. It's all keen for. So this is a little drum kit they've got. His little dinosaur. These are all his soft toys. His kite. This is an amazing poster, this one. I can't believe I got it. It's an original Transformers movie poster. So, absolutely. What was your grandfather's name? Magnus. I got that in Bali. That was in my room as a child growing up, and that's your grandfather's again. My favourite. Never let anyone tell you motor racing is boring. It's supposed to be. There's a lot of action, coloured drama, art, but importantly, it's a meditation. Those cars go round and round and round, and so do the thoughts in your mind. It's very relaxing. One of the greatest feelings, falling asleep in front of a motor race. Okay, and that's your room.